Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, coming to you live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we do every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our intro music is provided from the Podshow PodSafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com. Also, feel free to email your topics for discussion, suggestions, and comments to incoherentramblings@live.com.
This is Christopher.
This is Eric.
How are you today, Eric?
Fantastic. And yourself?
I'm doing well.
Oh, good.
It is March the 25th, 2010.
That's good.
We're broadcasting live from the internationally famous C&E studios here on a early spring day.
We had like 3 or 4 tailgaters, but then the rain just drove them away.
Yeah, it drove them right away. They were having a hard time keeping their grill going, so they decided they're just going to go get some Mexican in a local Mexican.
I don't blame them.
I don't either.
We might join them later.
We might. As hungry as I am, I don't know.
I actually had a bowl of cereal before I came. That is starving.
I'm hungry too.
And I wanted to be, I didn't want to be hungry and do the show on an empty stomach. You got to have your energy for the show. You have to have your wits about you.
Yes, you do. That is true. So, if you want to call us, you can call in at 646-716-6928.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to blogtalkradio.com/incoherent ramblings and find a plethora of ways with which to electronically communicate with us.
If they've missed any of our past episodes, if they listen to us for the first time tonight,
yes.
Good gracious, what have I been missing for last year?
Right.
How could I hear some of the past episodes? They could. Some of them are archived on our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them on MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
But our preferred method is if they go to iTunes.
Yes.
And
go to iTunes.
They can subscribe.
They can type in Incoherent Ramblings, find our show, subscribe to it free of charge.
We don't charge.
No, we don't. And we could.
They get their money's worth.
And then when they subscribe to our show, every time there's a new updated podcast, bam, automatically syncs to their iTunes. That's low maintenance and low effort on your part, the listener.
I'm all about that.
Yes, I am too. And we do have some subscribers on iTunes. Your brother-in-law, as a matter of fact, when we were giving your sister a hard time for not listening to the show, and she was trying to be like, well, you don't watch it either, and he was like, pa-pow, look out his iPhone, bam, there's every single one of our episodes to date. Wow. So there are people that do sync up and listen to it. And, then they'll listen, maybe in the evening if they're having a hard time falling asleep, they'll listen to it. Stuff like that, maybe on a jog.
If they're less than happy, they want to put a smile on their face.
Yes.
They know that they can listen to our show, and that might happen.
Yes, it will. It will happen.
It will happen.
It will happen. That's how sure we are of it.
Right. And that's our goal.
Mm-hmm. To bring you tales of dismay, that somehow we turn into good news stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is...
Speaking of stories, I have very few this week.
Right. Prepared, as usual.
As usual. But I do have a couple.
Well,
I have one story that I won't start with it yet. We usually start our show with good news stories. But I have one story that I brought for you, Chris, because it involved 2 of your favorite people.
Mm-hmm.
PETA.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And the Octomom. So, something to look forward to for you.
I am with bated breath. What does that even mean? Like,
Tainted breath?
Like my breath smells like fish? I don't know.
I'm always intrigued by where things like that.
I know. Yeah. And then you Google it, and then some jack-in-the-box has, like, completely made something up, and it sounds so legit, and then when I'll tell people, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, I read it on Wikipedia. Do you know on Wikipedia that you cannot, I don't know how they police this, but you're not supposed to actually edit or make modifications or additions to articles on your stuff. So let's say you're Mick Jagger and you're on the Rolling Stones Wikipedia page and you see something that's factually incorrect, or the Mick Jagger page off the Rolling Stones and it's incorrect. Technically, you're not supposed to go in there and change it because you're not supposed to be writing things about it. I guess, like, because it's Wikipedia is free, maybe they're worried about, like, free self-promotion or whatever. I don't know.
I was going to say that Mick Jagger probably knows himself better than anybody.
I would think so. Well, maybe not. Maybe since he's been sober, he knows himself better than anybody. Prior to that, I don't know.
There might be some fuzzy memory out there. But...
Right. So that's a neat little thing about Wikipedia. Because we have celebrities that listen.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for to change some stuff on your Wikipedia article, ask a friend to do it anonymously.
Community service announcement.
That's what it is. But we're here. We are the official community and public service announcement of the World Wide Web.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking out for people.
Maybe we get a volunteer to edit our Wikipedia.
We should. We should, because I was reading on there and it's partially correct. There are some invalid statements on there.
Right.
So maybe one of our listeners would go in and straighten that out for us.
I would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, I would too. We want to portray ourselves in a positive manner, right? And somebody apparently is thinking otherwise. Would you have any good news stories for us?
No.
No, you
I know we like to start our show with
good
stories.
I may have some good news stories.
I don't look at you and make any really good news stories.
It's really hard. It's hard to find good news stories.
It's become harder and harder.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like I'll go for like 3 or 4 weeks with no updates, and then all of a sudden there'll be like 12.
Well, might be a good news story. I'll let you be the judge. There's a doorbell.
Yep. I believe it's one of our tailgaters.
What's in? Let me go see if I can let him in.
Okay. Yeah, will you check on that for us? Because I thought they had gone to the local Mexican restaurant, apparently. They have come back to the rain has driven them. I'm horrible in English, guys. I'm sorry. Our Heroes and Angels update page, there's no good news there. Nothing new. Our Tales of Survival page doesn't have anything new, but it does still have, as the headline story, the story we ran with last week about the toddler being pronounced was dead for maybe hours and is now alive and has little to no brain damage and is expected to make a full recovery. Absolutely miraculous. I wish there was an update there. Unfortunately, there's not. But some brave experimental treatment, unproven experimental treatment by the doctors, have given this young man life, and like I said, looking towards a full recovery. So those who now our wonderful world source does seem to have some newer stories, so that's a good deal. 2.
2 good stories.
2 new ones over last week. So our tailgater in there in our waiting rooms?
Yeah, they are.
Where they have access to the internet and can actually...
Well, the Mexican place, I just want the free handout. The Mexican restaurant gives our tailgaters discounts.
Is that what it was?
If we give him a coupon and he wanted another coupon.
Not even listening to the show right now, but these tailgaters, they do download and listen to it after the fact, so we can't give them too hard of a time.
It takes dedication to get out here and tailgate at our
It really does.
studio.
Well, here's a story about a billionaire fulfilling a pact with God. And this is under the wonderful world of giving. The billionaire founder of British supermarket chain is donating most of his fortune to a charity to fulfill a pact with God. Albert Goubet, a penniless candy seller in Wales after World War II, says he made a vow with God at the time to hand over half his fortune to the Catholic Church if he ever became rich. He went on to found Quick Save grocery chain and later accumulated development properties in Liverpool and Manchester. Now, at 82, the retail entrepreneur says he's making good on his charitable promise. A lifelong Roman Catholic has placed his business empire, valued at roughly $690 million, according to Forbes, into a charitable trust. Upon his death, half of that money will go to the causes identified by the Catholic Church, with the other half to good causes selected by the trustees. He ranks in at number 880 on the 2010 list of world's billionaires, with a total fortune of $1.1 billion.
Wow.
He lives on the Isle of Man, the British Isle, and he with his second wife and has 2 children by his first wife. 1997 television documentary. He's very shy. He came out of the Royal Navy with a suit and 80 pounds. That's all he had to his name.
Wow.
I borrowed 100 pounds and made a pact with God. Make me a millionaire and you can have half of my money. And he surpassed the millionaire and become a billionaire, so now he's giving it away.
Wow.
So good for him.
That is very, very good.
One thing I found interesting about this, a lot of people talk about being a millionaire. And now, 100 years ago, if you were a millionaire, you were
equivalent to a billionaire.
Yeah, very, very, very wealthy.
Right. Probably
And
the equivalent of a billionaire.
Probably,
wouldn't you say?
Yeah, if not more.
Right.
Because back then, if you had $100,000, you were incredibly rich.
Right.
But this is what I found interesting. Still today, a millionaire is a status. We use that word. And to be quite honest, I think you may not be able to live a life of maybe someone worth $800 billion or whatever. No one's worth that much, but still. You may not be able to live that kind of life. But if your house was paid for, if your car was paid for, you had zero debt, zero mortgage, zero payments except for utilities, and you had, after all that was said and done, $1 million in cash, and you were just drawing meager interest of 5%, that would be $50,000 a year. Yeah. And if you had it in an interest-free bond, I could live on $50,000 a year if I had no bills.
Right.
And I could live very well.
Right.
So, if you're a millionaire, you're doing quite well. This guy is a billionaire worth $1.1 billion. And he is number 880.
Right.
That's the most interesting part of this story to me. Obviously it's nice that he's, giving his money to good causes.
Right.
But at $1.1 billion, there's 879 people in front of him that are wealthier than he is.
How many billion does he have?
1.1.
1.1.
So that just kind of boggles my mind.
So what would his interest be?
At 5%? Mm-hmm. Well, at $1 billion, that's
550,000.
Yeah. Yeah. If he was just drawing at 5%.
If the house is paid for, we don't know that it is.
We don't know. It might not be.
You might be able to live pretty comfortably on that.
He might. So good for him for taking a risk, taking out that 100-pound loan, and stepping out, and then good for him on keeping his promise, right, that he made. The next good news story is a video, which I can't read. So, Here's a link to it. No, it's all video. Oh well. It's about puppies, so that's kind of silly. Whatever.
Well, I've got a good news story. Not really, but I can make it a good news story.
I'm sure you can.
Schoolboy with 31 fingers and toes
is excelling in math.
has surgery to remove his extra digits.
He's ahead of the entire class with addition.
He types.
He types 128 words a minute, error-free.
6-year-old boy with 15 fingers and 16 toes has undergone surgery to remove his extra digits. The unnamed Chinese child had 4 fingers on one hand and 3 on the other fused together. He now has 10 fingers and 10 toes, following a 6.5-hour operation at a hospital in Shenyang to remove the surplus 11 digits. There's a before picture.
Wow.
The boy has a condition known as polydactyly, in which one of the variety of genetic disorders which can be inherited are new mutations give rise to excess digits. Most commonly, the digits appear on the little finger side of the hand. The child appears to have much rarer condition of central polydactyly, in which the middle fingers and toes are duplicated. I wish you could see some of the pictures. But look how they put the fingers together.
Mm-hmm.
They put like 3 fingers together there and 3 fingers together there. Then you think they should have put like 2 there and 2 there? Instead of having like one really wide finger?
Oh, so
they could have had 2.
They didn't actually remove the fingers. They fused them together. Why? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Was he not functioning before?
I don't know. I mean, that looks weirder than having the extra digits. Maybe not.
I think they're equally odd.
Equally odd.
It looks like something from a dream, or like the carnival or something. It's pitiful.
He is thought to hold a world record for the number of digits ever recorded on a human being.
31. Wow.
The current official record holders are 2 Indian children, they give their names that I can't read, who both have 12 fingers and 13 toes.
Gives a new meaning to the child song, Head, Fingers. How's it go? Head, shoulders, knees and toes? Knees and toes? And toes and toes.
And toes and toes and toes and toes and toes, fingers. Anyway, that's good. He got his digits right.
He could, I bet he could be like an incredible guitar player.
Could have been.
Before, it could have been, not now.
Not now. No, it's just.
I don't know why they did what they did. That doesn't.
I know.
I know it. Maybe he was ridiculed and received, bad treatment from children.
Well, his toes look normal.
Right.
I don't know if you saw the pictures of his toes fixed. That's pretty normal.
Yeah, just kind of maybe thicker than.
Right.
But yeah.
A little more normal than that.
Yeah.
I wonder what a pedicure would cost him.
He would have got a family discount. So.
Oh, I think an entire bottle of.
I apologize to our Chinese listeners. That was meant in good fun, but.
Or our polydactyly suffering listeners.
I bet he could have given a manicure. I mean, he could give it 2 at a time.
He could have.
I bet pedicure and manicure at the same time. I have some listener submitted stories.
Awesome.
I told you about earlier today. The dumb crick news is always great.
Right.
This comes from Washington, Kennewick. A burglar who spent about 5 hours on the store's computer after breaking into the business gave police all the clues they needed to track him down. Investigators said the 17-year-old logged into his MySpace account while at Bella Office Furniture, and that made it easy for them to find him. He also spent time looking at pornography and trying to sell stolen items, all while using the business's computer. He was arrested Tuesday and charged with first-degree burglary. Police said he helped officers recover cell phones stolen in the break-in. So, if you're going to break in to a store or to a business, maybe you shouldn't use their computer to do personal business transactions, especially trying to sell stuff you're stealing from them.
Yes, I concur.
Not that we
Concur. Not that we have.
We're not condoning.
No,
we're not condoning you break into it. Well, if you do, you don't want to leave behind evidence unless you're just trying to get caught.
And break-ins are up because
economy's down.
Economy's down. Oh, did you tell them what they said about Dr. Phil?
No, that's my next story.
Oh.
Dr. Phil McGraw.
Oh, that's your next story.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking about the economy being down, Bigelow Aerospace, a Las Vegas-based firm, headed, posted a recruitment notice for astronauts on its website. So if you're an out-of-work astronaut, the ad ran, only professionals with space flight experience need apply.
Congressman from your home state.
Which limits the pool of possible applicants worldwide to a little more than 500. So I thought that was funny.
You know, I met the congressman from your state.
I did not know you met him.
You were not at the computer store at the time that happened.
Oh.
He walks in, and he says his computer down and says that he lives in Ohio, but he bought the computer here, and he was in town, and he wanted to have some work done on it. Certainly. And I was getting ready to fill out the work order, and I said, "What's your name?" To which he kind of chuckled. And I was like, what is your name? He's like, seriously, you don't know? I was like, no. He's like, you look fairly young. I was like, I'm 19. He's like, so you haven't been on high school that long? I was like, no. He's like, and you don't recognize me? I was like, no. I was like, what's your name? He's like, John Glenn. I was like, oh, okay. So I started filling it. I look it up. And then I'm like going through putting in the work order what he wants done. Then all of a sudden it hits me. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I mean, he wasn't being arrogant about it, but I should have known who he was.
Right.
It's not like he was that much older than he was in the history book that I just studied.
Right.
And I was like, wow. And I was like, wait a second. And then I was like, well, he can't be pulling my leg because he physically this is John Glenn. I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, as a politician, I thought you would know me. Ha ha ha. I was like, oh, now you're being funny. So, yeah, that was funny. So he can apply. He should. I don't think he needs to.
Well, he's a little older.
He is He is getting a little older.
He is. So I don't know what the position entails.
Neil Armstrong. Is he still living?
I think he is.
But we are not qualified, however.
No.
Do you have to be able to speak Russian and English? Be bilingual?
Didn't say that. Just got to have some space flight experience.
Space flight, I have none. I wonder if it would count if you were in one of those airplanes that just barely gets up high enough to where you're like weightless for a few seconds.
I think that would at least
be more qualified than us.
Right. Maybe cover that qualification.
Right.
There's probably other qualifications there I'm looking for.
I'm sure they are. Works well with chimpanzees.
But that's just one they use to kind of weed out the riffraff. If I dare call us riffraff.
Yes. I would say we are. I have this listener submit a story.
Let's hear it. Another one?
Yeah, the one about Dr. Phil.
Oh, okay.
A Southern California couple who bragged on the Dr. Phil show about making $100,000 by selling shoplifted toys on eBay was sentenced Monday to federal prison. U.S. District Judge Irma Gonzalez sentenced Matthew Eaton, 34, to 27 months in prison, while his wife, Laura Eaton, was 27, was sentenced to a year. Both pleaded guilty to conspiracy to transport stolen property across state lines. He told the judge he regretted going on Dr. Phil. I hurt myself, I hurt my family, I was shoplifting, I don't deny that at all. The couple was under investigation for shoplifting before Dr. Phil's appearance, but detectives did not suspect them of being large-scale thieves until they appeared on the show. The show also aired a video of the couple's 3 small children accompanying them on a 3-day shoplifting binge. They were arrested last September. They said they made as much as $3,500 a week by selling stolen goods. They used her children as distractions, the lady did, while her husband stole the items. Laura Eaton stopped stealing after appearing on Dr. Phil, but her husband continued. They went on Dr. Phil in hopes of getting their financial situation under control, but instead came away with 3 books signed by Phil McGraw. Judge Gonzalez criticized McGraw. What a charlatan this man is. The television host holds himself out to be someone who helps people, but he certainly didn't help you. His publicist, Teresa Corigliano, did not immediately return a call and probably never will.
So they went to Dr. Phil for financial advice?
Yeah, it looked like they had it under control.
Ended up arrested. What they should have been going for is to be cured of their shoplifting tendencies. Or
what is it?
Kleptomania.
Klepto. Yeah.
Yes, their kleptomania.
Well, or
tendencies.
If they're pulling in $3,500 a week, I don't think they need financial advice.
Why
Why are they in financial trouble? What were they spending that on?
Oh.
I don't know.
Lawyers? I don't know. Bail? Oh, I have a listener story that they submitted.
Okay.
Remember our listener in New Zealand?
Yes.
He sent us one. It's about a New Zealand man who's recovering from injuries after being run over by his wife. Sandy Telford ran over her husband, Terry, as she backed down the driveway of their rural property in Hawke's Bay region. Not realizing what she'd done, Telford then drove her car forward, running over him again. Police said the woman was distraught and too upset to speak to them. We are treating it as an accident, the police spokesman told the newspaper. The ambulance authorities said the husband suffered moderate head, chest, and back injuries, but was conscious and talking after the incident.
Well, that's good. That's a good news story, then.
Yeah.
I mean, he lived.
That's right.
He survived to see another day.
After he survived being run over.
Yeah.
Twice. In the same day.
I think I would not eat her cooking anymore. I would probably sleep with one eye open.
Right.
No. Well, thank you to our listener in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, was he from Wellington, I believe?
He was. Mm-hmm. What was the story he sent us? Oh, about the ring.
Yes.
There's something about a wedding ring.
Yes, it was.
I can't remember the specifics.
Well, we have had a lot of stories about drunken driving.
And those are some of my favorites.
Yes. Well, this is not about drunken driving. However, it's about drunken teaching.
Oh, okay.
A Southern California school teacher has been arrested for allegedly teaching while drunk. Middle school teacher Tanya Neff was taken to jail Tuesday afternoon and booked for investigation of felony child endangerment. Administrators at her school told the sheriff's department that the 47-year-old teacher was apparently intoxicated on campus. Sergeant Mike Tapp says Neff had taken prescription drugs and alcohol, and an alcoholic beverage was found inside a container. The school district superintendent says there was never a threat to Neff's 7th grade students, and she has been placed on leave.
That's the only way to deal with those.
Right. Well, it does say she's a middle school teacher, so that probably explains it.
Right.
Probably all of them.
Medicated and highly intoxicated as well.
Yep.
Speaking of teachers,
Uh-huh.
this really the superintendent who wrote this law must have been intoxicated at the time. Teachers leave boy who is 5 years old stranded in a tree because of health and safety, then report a passerby who helped him down to the police.
Mm-hmm.
A boy of 5 was left stranded in a tree at school because of a bizarre health and safety policy which banned teachers from helping him down. The mischievous pupil climbed the 20-foot tree at the end of a morning break and refused to come down. But instead of helping him, staff followed guidelines and retreated inside the school building to observe from a distance so the child would not get distracted and fall. The boy was only rescued after 45 minutes in the tree when passerby Kim Barrett, 38, noticed the child and helped him down. But instead of being thanked for her actions by the head teacher of the manor school in Melksham, Wiltshire, she was reported to police for trespassing. Miss Barrett, who lives in Melksham with her 6-year-old daughter who attends at a different school, said she is surprised and shocked by the school's policy. She said, I was clearly shocked when I first saw him because he was sitting on a branch hanging out over the pavement. He was so young, he didn't look frightened, but he was completely on his own. There were no teachers or friends in the playground, and the field was empty. Anyway.
It's pretty stupid.
Isn't that stupid?
Now, he got up there of his own volition, right?
Right.
Then maybe the thinking was if he got up there, he can get himself down. But there shouldn't be against the rule to help him.
I think they're worried about maybe him falling out and hurting one of the teachers.
Or hurt himself.
Or hurting himself.
Like,
while they're helping him
if you weren't helping him, he wouldn't have fallen and hurt himself.
Right.
Or he could say, Mr. So-and-so touched me in the so-and-so. But still, if he couldn't get back down, he should have been helped.
So the comment from the school was, the safety of our pupils is our priority, and we would like to make it clear that this child was being observed at all times during the very short incident.
45 minutes, I guess, compared to eternity is short. But if you were stuck in a tree as a young child for 45 minutes, it probably seemed like 45 days.
Right. The schools say he was being watched, but that's impossible because there is no line of sight from the school building to the tree.
That they know of.
That they know of. That should know of.
If you go next to the girls' locker room. Well, we have lots of dumb crook stories.
Yeah,
we've already had dumb crook stories. Here's another one.
Okay.
2 bank robbers might have been trying to save some time when they called ahead and demanded that the bank have cash ready when they got there.
I saw that one.
But placing an order for cash didn't get them very far. Long story short is they showed up, the police were there waiting for them, and they were arrested. Fortunately, they didn't have any weapons, so they didn't. There was no threat to anyone's life or anything like that. But not the brightest of young men. They're in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Here's a woman who was fined $9,000 after caught living in a car with 23 animals. This happened on my birthday. An Australian woman who lived in her car with 23 pets, 12 of which were cats, has been fined $9,000 and forced to surrender all the animals to authorities. The Gold Coast Bulletin reported Carol Lynette Samuel, 66, said she was a successful cat breeder, obviously, but tough financial times last year had forced her to move out of her $1.5 million mansion in Macleay Island in Moreton Bay. She told the Southport Magistrates Court she had no choice but to move her cats move into her car along with her pets, which she considered to be her children.
So, I understand why they have regulations about, not having livestock and city limits and whatnot, but if they were in her car, I'm not understanding why it was.
An RSPCA inspector found Samuels and her pets in the undercover car park in September after a complaint. The court was told inside the car, which stank of ammonia, the inspector found 11 long-haired Parisian cats and Himalayan cats inside 7 cages on the back seat and 9 Pomeranian dogs and 2 poodles beside the car.
So maybe it's just because she wasn't providing them with proper care.
Right, that must have been.
Not that she just had that many. Okay.
The vet checks show the cats were malnourished and had matted fur, fleas, and cat flu.
Sounds like to me your
One of the
typical
cats
crazy cat lady.
Yes. I wouldn't say typical. This would be.
Well, sometimes they're wealthy.
It's not anymore.
An eccentric, formerly wealthy cat lady.
Definitely eccentric, yes.
I don't know why anybody would want to be surrounded by that many cats, personally.
Samuels yesterday pled guilty to 9 counts of breaching the Animal Care and Protection Act by failing her duty of care to feed, clean, and provide adequate shelter for the cats. So that's what she was found guilty of.
If she had to move out of a $1.5 million house, she probably doesn't have $9,000 to pay the fine. That would be my guess.
It kind of says, I've lost an awful lot and didn't want to lose my cats as well because they're the only family I've got, she said.
That's kind of sad.
It is kind of sad.
And that was in Washington?
Hey. The magistrate fined her $4,000 in order to pay the RSPCA $5,000 for veterinary care and to pay $73.80 in court costs.
The judge must not make very much money.
That's expensive veterinary care, isn't it?
Yeah.
$5,000? When does that come to per cat and dog?
Well, there's a lot of animals, and they were malnourished and
Right.
matted hair and fleas and feces everywhere. Poor lady. I have a story here about a man that's probably going to be given Principal of the Year award. He canceled school for a Sunday because it was nice weather.
Really?
Yes. They are in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, a sunny day. I think that was because it was Sunday.
No.
We usually have high school on Sunday.
This is a small private Christian school.
Mm-hmm.
And this time of the year, it's usually gray and soggy in the Pacific Northwest, but it was a beautiful sunny day. And this was his message. Good morning, students, parents, and staff. Yes, it's a sun day. Wahoo, that's right. School is canceled today due to good weather. Enjoy. And then there's a picture of him hanging out on his motorcycle.
That was some good news there.
Yeah, I'm sure the kids are loving it.
Like a happy-go-lucky
He
guy,
does.
isn't he?
Just fly by the seat of his pants.
Wow. Here's a kind of a disturbing story. Missing woman found under hotel mattress in Memphis. Sunny Millbrook had been renting a room at the Budget Inn, which suddenly stopped receiving payments at the end of January. Memphis authorities are baffled as to how a mother who disappeared in January ended up dead under a hotel mattress and wasn't found until nearly 2 months later.
By a princess?
Sunny Millbrook had been... That was about the same time that relatives grew concerned because she didn't pick up her kids from school. The family members went to the hotel but didn't find Millbrook there, and she was reported missing January 27th. The hotel boxed up her belongings and released the room for rent. Since then, it has been rented out about 5 times and cleaned by hotel staff numerous times. That's terrible. The missing person case quickly turned into a homicide investigation where her body was found under the mattress. No suspects have been identified, but police have charged Millbrook's boyfriend with a gun violation. I thought that was funny. It's been rented out 5 times. People were sleeping over top of a dead body.
I mean, First of all, my question is how obviously the maid staff at this budget end is not properly making beds because it would be impossible. Obviously, it isn't impossible, but it seems like to me, before hearing the story, it should be impossible for the maid staff to come in and change linens on a bed and not notice an entire body between the box spring and the mattress.
Wouldn't the room be smelling
Yes.
incredibly foul
Yes.
after 2 months?
Yes, it would. And then how are people sleeping on a mattress with a corpse underneath it and not know? I mean, it's a sad story. It's disturbing, but it's also funny because I mean, how is that even possible? I don't know.
Different clientele. I don't know.
What would, if you had to guess, what would you say would be the strongest insect in the world?
Ant.
According to scientists, after months of grueling tests, it's the dung beetle.
The dung beetle.
Yes.
My second guess.
Your second guess. The dung beetle, now check this out. The dung beetle can pull 1,141 times its own weight. That is impressive.
That is impressive.
Should we do that right? I'm pulling up my calculator here. Okay, 1,141, and I weigh 260 pounds. So that means I would have to pull 296,660 pounds, which would be 148,330 tons. I'm pretty sure
you can't do that?
No.
If you could, you'd be well, you wouldn't be an insect. That's why you're not included in this test.
I mean, I'm not sure.
It's nothing I want to lift it. They just got to pull it.
They got to pull it, right.
Leave.
I know.
Like I could lift tons.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of that's impressive. But ants are incredibly strong, and spiders, and carrying far more than their actual body weight. But 1,141 times, that certainly is impressive.
It is.
Do you have anything? Do you have any other weird stories for us?
Oh, I had one more. This might be my last story. I don't know.
Okay.
You've probably heard about this. This is back from March 18th, my birthday as well. A representative from Utah opts to, is irked that nearly 100,000 civilian federal employees owe the IRS $962 million in back taxes, and he thinks they should pay up or be fired.
Wow.
He's introduced a bill that calls for the federal government to ferret out civilian employees who have severely or seriously delinquent tax debt and prevent the hiring of other tax delinquents. More than 3% of the 2.8 million federal civilian employees owe the Treasury unpaid federal income taxes in 2008. According to the IRS, if you include retirees, military service members, the numbers go up to nearly 100,000, from nearly 100,000 to 276,000, and owe $3 billion in taxes.
Wow.
If you get to the point where the government is putting a lien on their property and they've exhausted their appeals, the right thing to do is to fire the federal worker. If you're going to take federal tax dollars, you should be paying your federal taxes. I agree.
I agree 100%.
It's certainly a good bill.
Well, we all believe in giving people second chances,
right?
Different people have different degrees of tolerance on that.
Oh, I have one other story.
Yeah.
That's the one I teased you with.
Oh, yeah.
That's my last one. Go ahead.
This comes to us from Montana. A hitchhiker originally sentenced to be executed for the 1951 killing of a Montana man who picked him up during a blizzard has been found running a wedding chapel under an assumed name in Arizona 38 years after he skipped out on parole. There's someone that like murdered someone that was doing them a favor by picking them up and giving them a ride, right? And now he's marrying people, apparently. He was found after the victim's grandson hired an investigator who tracked the fugitive to his Arizona City notary and chapel business, where he was known as Victor Houston. He's now 78. He's awaiting extradition proceedings. He has been arrested. He initially received...
Is he a pastor now? Or
no, he's just marrying people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you're a pastor to marry people?
No.
You
Justice of the peace. There are people in the military can do it. As long as you're licensed to
be an admiral.
You can be an admiral. You can marry folk. And this, I'm going to try not to get off on my tangent here, but he was initially received a hanging sentence after a quick trial in 1955. And I have recently, over the past month, said at least 10 times that we need to get back to public hangings in this country because things are completely out of control. It would solve a lot of our problems. In 1969,
repeat offenders.
It would. I would argue that with anyone. People say the capital punishment is not a deterrent, and that confuses me because they must. Most of the people that say it's not a deterrent also don't believe in God, but yet they believe in the supernatural ability to come back from the dead and repeat the offense.
When we say, because I'm one of those people, that it's not a deterrent, it's because I'm not saying it's not deterring the person who was doing it. It's not keep.
It is a deterrent, though. There's the proof. They can't do it again.
That person may not be able to.
Exactly.
It's not holding back, keeping somebody else from doing it.
No. But do you think that it
may not
never
be.
a deterrent?
It may. Some people may.
I think it's a deterrent I don't think it's a deterrent for everyone. Sickos like Jeffrey Dahmer are going to be sickos, and they're going to do their stuff regardless of what the consequences are, because they don't care.
Most of those are crimes of passion. They aren't thinking, oh, what's the consequences of me doing this? It's just something snaps and they do it.
Right. But they would not be able to do it again. Like Ted Nugent said.
I can't argue that.
Like Ted Nugent said. What did he say? He's like, I don't like repeat offenders. I like dead offenders.
That's right.
And I'm with Ted Nugent there. But
in the book of Nugent, verse
3. Yeah, verse 3. Chapter 8, verse 3. In 1969, after 15 years in prison, he was paroled. So now, my argument here is if he had been hung, he would have never been out on parole. Well, can't argue that point either.
No, but if they were, I believe in life in prison should be life in prison, not 100 years is really 10 years. Personally, I believe life should be life.
Right. If that's what you're saying.
And I think that's as big a deterrent as death.
Right.
And it actually costs more to kill somebody than it does to keep them in jail for life.
How much does rope cost?
I hear you. But with all the mandatory appeals and all that crap.
Well,
but the other thing is, I lost my train of thought. I think if they're going to be in jail for 100 years, I think it's more punishment than death. And they get out easy with death. I think you put them in jail and you put them to hard work while they're in jail, and not just they can work out and watch TV and all that kind of crap.
Right.
Then I think that's more of a punishment.
But that isn't what jail is.
I know.
So that's not. In our current system, it's not a valid argument. Now, if it was like that,
in our current system, it is a value.
It would be a good thing to implement.
In our current system, it is a valid argument that it costs more to kill somebody than it does to go to jail for life.
But it shouldn't. Just like they also shouldn't get to lay around and watch TV and work out. They should be doing manual labor.
Right.
So I mean, we agree on everything. It's just we come in from different angles.
Right. Well, my other argument is death is permanent. If they're found innocent later, you can't correct that.
Yeah, see, that doesn't bother me.
It does me.
You told me one time you'd rather see 10 guilty people go free than one innocent go to jail, and I'd rather see 1,000 innocent go to jail than one guilty person go free, personally.
Because of those innocents.
Well, and then I would feel differently. But, like Michael Vick, people like him. I don't want people like that, like Mr. Whitehead here in our hometown of Greensboro that set his dog on fire.
Right.
Broke its jaw, broke its teeth, and set his dog on fire. I don't think people like that should be part of civilization because they've proven that they're not capable of it.
Right.
So if they go to jail, they shouldn't get out. I'm with you on that.
What did he end up getting? 8 months or
7 months?
7 months.
A 6 to 8 months. It was a 6.
He's probably out now.
He probably is out. He's setting dogs on fire.
Oh gosh, that makes me so angry.
See, it's stuff like that.
If certain crimes the punishment just doesn't fit the crime.
No, and then you'll get some white-collar criminal who, cooks the books, pads himself with $15,000 or $150,000 or whatever, and he'll get 40 years in prison. What? No, I'm not saying what he did was right, that he should have done it, that he shouldn't receive some kind of consequence. But then you have people setting their animals on fire, killing people, and getting less time. It makes me confused. Prosecuting attorneys get on witch hunts, and I don't really fault them because they're trying to prosecute everyone they can, and rightfully so. But I don't know. Unfortunately, there are bad people, and there's no way around that.
Right. Speaking of bad people, PETA.
Yes. My third least favorite.
It seems like an organization that should be so good that just somehow went so wrong. But anyway.
Well, but Ingrid's an idiot. That's why.
PETA makes Octomom an ad offer.
Mm-hmm.
A prominent U.S. animal rights group says it wants to help California Octomom, Nadia Suleiman, with finances by placing an ad on her front lawn. A spokeswoman for Virginia-based People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals said the organization sent a letter to Suleiman's lawyer offering to pay for an ad to be placed in the front of her La Habra home as a means of helping her avoid foreclosure on the house. When you gave birth to octuplets to bring your total number of children to 14, you grabbed headlines and got the world talking about your controversial decision. This is from the letter they sent to her. Now you will help turn some of the attention to another important matter, the dog and cat overpopulation crisis. Unlike humans, dogs and cats cannot decide for themselves how much offspring they will have. Taking us up on our offer to what is a win-win situation, it would help you and your children to keep your home and also reduce the number of homeless dogs and cats, PETA wrote. So, Suleiman's lawyer, Jeff Check, said he has been in contact with PETA's legal department and is awaiting an offer. So,
and have you seen the post?
The story wasn't as good, but I just couldn't pass it up when it was called PETA and Octomom.
Okay, all in one. There's let your dog or cat be an Octomom.
Because
a cat with a bunch of kittens.
Don't let your dog or cat become an Octomom.
Always spay or neuter. It's kind of this is one of those slippery slopes to me because they preach spay or neuter. They're against puppy mills and kitty mills, but yet nobody has ever said that you shouldn't be a pet owner. They're all about being a pet owner and being good and providing a good, home and treating them well and providing them with care and all that.
Right.
If we spay and neuter all of the cats and dogs, we're not going to have future kittens and puppies.
Yeah, but I don't think every cat and dog will get spayed.
No, they're not. But they want us to spay and neuter all of them. And if we did what they were asking, we would no longer have cats and dogs, which I think would be sad. I mean, if we would spay all the cats.
But unless you spayed them after they had.
Like in China, let them have one baby.
There you go.
And then that's it, no more. But they can still have 8, because like I said, they have no control over it.
That is true.
If you, like you always say, if you listen to the acronym PETA, and you listen to the name of it, you think it should be good. But I don't think they've ever had good intentions. I mean, Ingrid is she has a personal crusade against pit bulls.
What was the story we had recently where they got all up in arms about somebody swatting a fly?
The President
Obama.
President Obama swatted a fly and killed it, and PETA was highly offended, and they were saddened. They were saddened that the president had killed the fly, and they sent him a fly trap that catches the fly, keeps it alive, and then allows you to take it outdoors and release it back into the wild. And when you release it back outdoors, it's just going to fly in the same way it got in there in the first place and be buzzing all around your plate of food. But if you kill it,
spreading germs.
If you kill it, you deter it from flying back around and buzzing around your food.
I'm all for hanging flies.
Hang them. We have a fly epidemic in this country, and we need to spay and neuter our flies.
Yes, we do.
Now, but see, here's the irony here. A coworker of mine, I can't remember the exact quote, but they want to euthanize. They want to actually commit genocide against 5 different breeds, one of which is a pit bull. The show's mascot, Bella, is a pit bull. They want to commit genocide against an entire breed. However, they were angry that the president killed a fly, right? Which is far more menacing than a pit bull is, because they're always buzzing around in your face. And flies have feces on they carry around feces.
I know.
And he said,
they vomit on their food.
They vomit on food and then they eat it.
Suck it up.
And he said, he's like, they want to euthanize an entire breed of dogs, yet they want to save the noble fly. And I was like,
last week we had the fly that laid eggs in the guy's head. Remember it? I think it was a bat fly. The big ones are bigger than horse flies.
Oh, man.
He had 5 fly larvae growing inside his head to swell his head up to the size where he couldn't even put his helmet on to right by his body.
That's horrible.
It's nasty.
That sounds like a horror movie.
I saw it on TV. I saw it on Animal Planet.
It was pretty gross.
He kept going to doctors, and they kept giving him ointment saying it would go away. They didn't know what it was. And he says, I think it's, he told me I could hear stuff like moving in my head to his wife. I think I could hear it growing is what he said. But he took a shower, he finally went to a specialist, and because he had taken a shower and the pores were open, they could see the larva moving inside his head.
Were they like inside his
maggots inside his head,
like under his skull?
Under his
so between his skull, the epidermis and the skull.
Right.
Oh, that's horrible.
No,
well, we are done. Just a quick note of another PSA.
Uh-huh.
If you're going to Mexico, don't take soup. Or don't try to bring soup back with you.
Or ingredients for soup.
Because you might get held on detained in Mexico for drug possession.
2 days.
Yes. Just throwing that out there for you.
I know a lot of our listeners are doing just that.
A lot of our listeners,
and it might be working for them now.
They go to Mexico and they come back with. Just letting you know, you might get detained by the Mexican federales. Especially if you're Nigerian.
Or ugu. They don't like the ugu spice.
They don't like the ugu spice. So just be careful when you're traveling to and from Mexico.
Buy your ugu here.
Yes, and here in America, American-grown ugu. If you can't get it in Nigeria, get it here. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys next week.
This has been Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, and we would like to thank you for listening to our show today. Don't forget to tune in for next week's show.